Today I'll be sharing with you a way that you can set up your ELA block for live teaching. So the first thing I have on here is a video that is just a song playing. That way as students enter the classroom, it's not just awkward silence, and they can enter quietly and just listen to the music as they are doing their first task. I have a to think about over here. And the to think about is, where in the world do you think there are volcanoes? As you come in, answer the question in the chat so we know you are ready. You could say, too, that they could do this on their whiteboard or in the chat, either way, just so you know that they're engaged already from even before you really begin your lesson. Up here in the right-hand corner, I have a timer. This tells students that there's 30 seconds till class is beginning, and it's a good way for students to know when they fully need to be ready. Timers will be your friends as we start to embark on online teaching. So class expectations: mute your sound, microphones while the teacher is talking or another student is. Keep your screen on at all times. Use the chat for questions about the lesson or when you need help. And have fun. So you need to make class expectations that you want for your class and what you're expecting and how comfortable you are about using that chat, not using that chat, however you want to be communicating with students throughout the lesson. The next slide, I'm not done yet, but this is the ELA block. So I would put on here so students know what to expect throughout the day. So we're going to start with a whole group. We're going to read a poem. We're going to go over the check, check, done. Then we'll have small group rotations back to whole group. So just some way that they know what the flow is of today's class. All right. So in the discussion on Schoology, add something you know and something you want to know about volcanoes. Just like us, they have different levels of tech abilities. So you could say, or write it on your whiteboard and then we'll share. But we are focusing on the K, what I want to know, or what I know, and the W, what I want to know. Later this week, we'll come back and do what I learned. And you will have 3 minutes to complete this activity. So once again, I start that timer. If you want music playing in the background, go for it. But this is a way so students can see, oh, I have 3 minutes. I better go do my task, and then we'll begin. So there's that. Coming up then, we have our volcano video. This is to provide some background knowledge for all students. They're able to visually see something. I would keep all of my videos to about 3 minutes or less that you're showing to the complete group while in class, because you don't want students to just space off and lose engagement. But this will help show the theme of this week and what they'll be learning about, and just give that background knowledge for students who may not have any on volcanoes. Up next, we have a volcano poem. This is a whole group reading. So I might read it aloud first, and then I might call on 1 or 2 kids, or just the boys, just the girls. However, but this could be our whole group reading, and we could read it in different voices, or we could do a volcano for volcano. Online teaching is a little bit different than in person because all you have is your screen. So you want to make sure that students are engaging. So using those total physical response and adding voices as we read, or just like you would do in class. And I know it's a little bit different on screen, but adding some actions, just keeping kids moving and engaged is helpful. Sequence of events overview. Once again, this is an included video. It will play about what is RI 3.8, and I would share with them this is what we'll be learning in mini lesson today. Our standard is RI 3.8, sequence of events, and that way students are viewing this whole class so they're getting the same information together. Up next, we have our check, check, done. So this is what I envision for students to be working on when they're not with you. They still have choice. There's many activities that they can complete throughout the week, so they should not run out of things to do. So through rotations, this will give an overview, and this is something you could send out on like Sunday nights so parents can see what to expect for the week, students can see what will be happening. This is something I used last year. I would send these out every Sunday night, and that really engaged parents to start talking about these themes as well with their students. So I will play this for you. This week in 3SD, you will be working through our ELA check, check, done. When you're in mini lesson with me, we will be working on the standards, RI 3.8, and we will be looking at sentences and paragraphs in a text, and we will look at what happens in a sequence and cause and effect. At Future Ready, while you are creating, you can choose one of these options. You can create a comic about volcanoes, create a model of a volcano or of Pompeii, and that can be any items that you have at home. Create a poster of a volcano and include labels. This could be a poster virtually or a poster on paper. Create a Google slide about volcanoes and make a song about volcanoes that you can upload using Seesaw. The comic sheet is posted in the materials on this page. For your movement, there are some different options you can choose here when you need a movement break. There's volcano yoga, boom chicka boom, cuckoo kangaroo, and it's about positivity and our meditation to get us relaxed. And back focus is a balloon. Digital, you'll have some different books and videos to view. We have 3 books, and then you can choose one of the days to look on Epic, and you can watch stories or videos, and there's the class code to access the Epic account, and then you will have 4 different videos to view throughout the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you will have some Lexia minutes to complete and units, which I will let you know what your units to complete are each week, and then on the opposite days, you will be able to read and record how many pages that you read throughout that day. When you are working on your independent time, you can write a story about being in Pompeii when Mount Vesuvius erupted. You can email myself or write a letter about volcanoes, practice typing on typing.com, or you could get some coding practice in with coding on code.org. If you have any questions about this check done, please let me know. You can send me an email or a message. So that is just an overview of the check done for the week. If I was live teaching, I would just show them that, and I would go through it in person, ask for any questions that they have, but still have that Screencast-O-Matic or Screencastify that students are able to look back on, or parents as well, so if they have any questions when they're independently working, that they can rewatch that and see what they need to be doing. And then knowing that we have a short amount of time with students every day, when I was thinking about timing, I would only be able to get through 3 rotations. So every day I would have a mini lesson. Some days, for some kids, it might be Lexia or Core 5 or Power Up, or they might be reading independently a book as well. And then for today's rotation, I decided to do digital, which you saw there were some other options on there as well. So I put this up, round 1. Here are the people. Here are where you need to go. Mini lesson with Mrs. Dykes, Lexia, digital. So I've thought of many ways to do this, and there's no set way to do this right now. What I would do is with my group 1, I would keep them in a room with me, and then I would send everybody to their own breakout room. So they would just be by themselves. But that way, I would be able to pull them all back together. Same thing, group 2, I'd have a different breakout room with our one group. Everybody else go to their own breakout room to do their whatever's on their check done or Lexia minutes. So here's round 1. You can see this 15-minute timer up at the top. That would just be for me as well to keep track of time. Rotations round 2, same thing. You're just switching the groups that you are seeing. So I changed the color so you can see group 1 was green. Now group 2 is green, so they know to go with me to mini lesson. And round 3 changes again, so that's 15 minutes at each rotation, so that's a total of 45 minutes. Whole group, this is our bring it back together activity. L, what I learned, add in the chat one thing you learned about volcanoes today, and let's discuss. Who has like a really cool fact that we learned? And just provide that time to give a break. Say next we'll be moving on to math. I will see you back in the Zoom in 8 minutes, or whatever you want it to be, and then you can have a time that you can log off or log back in, or just keep that same link, however you want to do it. If you have any questions, this is not how you have to set up your classes, but this would just be an example of how you could do a 3rd grade language arts. So here's my 10-minute break. Get up, move around, take a break. And I have a 10-minute countdown with, there's timers with music. There's so many different timers. Find ones that work with you. If students want to stay on and just talk with you, feel free. That's their time to engage with you as well. I hope this helped somewhat. Do what works for you, and I'm sure I will see you soon. Thanks.